The whole day was fantastic, riding into the dusk. It was phenomenal. I mean, we're finally here. Ganges for us is really, really special. There is no fire like lust and no crime like hatred. नहीं यार, ठहर। राग के समान अग्नि नहीं, द्वेष के समान पाप नहीं। पांच सकंद हो, रूप वेदना संज्ञा संस्कार और विज्ञान। दुख नहीं, निर्माण उपशमन स्वदेश सुख नहीं। समझे? ये भी रिकॉर्ड होगा। Varanasi, considered one of the oldest city on the planet, 5,000 years before Christ. It's a very special place. So you definitely want to know, what Ganges is and what this holy city is all about. People just living here on the bank of the river from centuries. There are bodies getting cremated up there, and there are the pilgrims having dip in the holy water Ganges. That's what the faith is. That's what the people traveling from everywhere, from all over the world, from all over the country here, see this place. Yeah, so the Ganges, and yeah, travel to Kashi. I'm an Indian, but somehow I failed to put this whole experience in the words. I think one has to be here and to live this experience. I think reading books and telling stories won't just explain you 1% of what this whole town, whole city is about. And today we are at Saranath. We completed some of the footsteps of Buddha, where he preached his first or gave his first sermon to his 5 disciples. Had Buddha not come here, there wouldn't be Buddhism practiced in the world at all. He sort of preached them his teaching, and later on most of the scholars, they just travel all around the world. It's just amazing that how that whole philosophy just ran across the world, and there's this another religion which came into the existence. I'm just envisaging the whole scenario which took place in the past. The fact that Siddhartha Buddha, he just wanted to come out of this wheel of life, the samsara which they call. He figured out his way, and he set a really good example. It's just amazing that how he created a new way of living and thinking, and set an example that where people today are actually following that path and practicing it. I mean, Saranath is definitely one of the most important sites as well. You see, I think half of the Southeast Asian countries are Buddhist actually, and they sort of follow the different sects. There are several institutes based on Tibetan or generally the Buddhist study. Tibetan Buddhism is a mix of so many other practices as well. When Atisha and the great scholars, they traveled from Nalanda to Tibet, to the higher region of the Himalayas. People were actually already practicing their own religions as well, which includes Bonism and animism. When these Indian scholars, they reached there and they started to sort of introduce them to the Siddhartha's teaching. So they also kept their original religion, which they were already practicing, and as well as adopted the new teachings. And the teaching was Siddhartha Buddha's teaching. So what do you see generally in Tibet is basically, particularly in the Western Tibetan Buddhism, is a mix of 2 or 3 different religions. So why Tibet is considered as the home of Buddhism today? It's because Dalai Lama is the reincarnation of Buddha Sakyamuni. And there's a contradiction in which I may be wrong, but since Buddha actually wanted to go out of the system of the reincarnation, which is called the Wheel of Life, whereas in the Tibetan Buddhism, they are always talking about the reincarnation of the Buddhism, and they keep telling that Buddha keeps coming on this planet in terms of showing or guiding us to lead on the path of enlightenment. The accumulations of archaeological records and the assertions of the historical facts shows that the Lord Buddha died here in this particular place at Kushinagar, somewhere between 3rd BC era from Jesus Christ. So this place was also the capital for the many great empires of India. Today what you see is the ruin of this important historical site. And now we're going to get inside. Apparently there's a massive statue where Buddha is lying down and resting in the peace. I've been here like 20 years ago. Nothing was like this, so things have changed around. It looks like it's more tidy than before. And just talking to the people, it feels like, I'm back here to in the same sort of period, because people are really friendly and they welcome you, and they're just really proud that you are actually coming to check some of these historical sites around in their hometown, and they're just looking forward to see many more tourists, and they want to just welcome the people. And yeah, pretty friendly. We had a bit of chat with the locals, and I think the fact that they actually live next to this very important historical site. So we were just asking these random questions to the people whether Buddha is still alive. So one of these old gent who is selling the coconuts out there, he was born and brought up here. And one of the very important things that he told us, that it doesn't matter where Buddha is, as long as he's alive in your heart, that matters the most. Welcome to Kushinagar. This is where the Lord Buddha is resting.
भगवान बुद्ध जो है अभी भी जगे हुए हैं।
हम तो यही मानते हैं।
जगे हुए हैं।
हाँ।
कहाँ जगे हुए हैं?
यही जगह है, तभी तो लोग आ रहे हैं दूर दूर से।
मुझे लगता है कि वो हर एक इंसान की दिल में जगह है। आप कब से हो यहाँ पे?
हम यही पैदा हुए हैं, यही कुशीनगर में यही रहते हैं। कुशीनगर में दुकान।
आप देखिए, आपका सौभाग्य, आप जो खुशीनगर में पैदा हुए हैं, तभी तो आप इतने खुश मिजाज इंसान हैं।
लेकिन बात यह है कि जहाँ जो चीज़ पैदा होती है उसकी कीमत नहीं होती है, दूसरे जगह उसकी कीमत होती है।
अब देखो हम कहाँ से आए मालूम आपको? मैं हिमाचल कुल्लू डिस्ट्रिक्ट मनाली से आया हूँ दर्शन करने के लिए।
बिल्कुल, आप तो कुल्लू में विदेश से लोग आते हैं, रूस, जापान, दुनिया भर के लोग विदेश से आते हैं।
भगवान बुद्ध भगवान की धरती पे आप दोनों लोग आए हैं। सबसे पहले आप लोग का वेलकम करते हैं इस धरती से, कि आप लोगों ने अपना बहुमूल्य समय निकाल कर हमारे इस कुशीनगर को आए। हार्दिक आभार और थैंक यू। ये हम लोग का महापरिनिर्वाण स्थल है। यहीं पे गौतम बुद्ध भगवान डेथ हुआ था। अंतिम कुछ समय पर शिक्षा लेने के बाद यहीं पे आए थे, और अंतिम 2 साल वो यहीं पे रहे। बुद्ध भगवान हमारे दिल में है। अच्छाई और बुराई सबके अंदर होता है, बस देखने का नज़रिया होता है। हाँ, अगर हम कर्म अच्छे करते हैं तो लोगों की नज़र में अच्छे बना सकते हैं। हमें अपना कर्म हमेशा करना चाहिए। कर्म अच्छा करना, बुद्ध भगवान रहेंगे तभी सपोर्ट मिलेगा।
तो इसका मतलब बुद्ध जो है आज भी यहाँ पे है।
हाँ,
वो कहीं गए नहीं।
नहीं गए।
ठीक है,
बुद्ध है।
That's the point. The Buddhism which is today around the world may known as a different Buddhism, let's say like Shintoism in Japan and Taoism in China and all sort of Mahayana, Nihana and Buddhism in Tibet, for example. So that all falls under one man's principle, which is Buddha. And now since we are here at Kushinagar, and you can sort of see the whole compound of the temple. People actually are traveling still today from all around the world as a pilgrimage. they are taking to visit the Kushinagar and to pay the homage to the Lord Buddha. What is most surprising that, like we grew up telling that gods were born as God, which actually Buddha proved wrong, Siddhartha proved wrong, that nobody is actually born as a legend or nobody is born as a god. The fact that they actually had to go through certain atrocity, they proved that there's a way to go out of the wheel of life and to attain the nirvana. This is a very important place for me as well because I've been there 20 years ago, but finding that same energy and the same spirit once you enter inside the temple here, it's really meaningful and it means a lot to me. And I'm not really religious, but actually believe that there's an energy which is actually driving the whole samsara and the world. Falling asleep on a motorcycle is a very dangerous thing. So you make sure when you feel dizzy and have dizzy spirit, you stop. You either wash your face, have a little bit of nap, or maybe grab some cold drinks. Fuck it up.
आप कुछ पूछ रहे थे?
मोटरसाइकिल पूछ रहे थे।
All right, Mr. Buddhi, how was the time travel? It's fucking amazing. Can't believe that places like this still exist in India.
Here we are at Khajuraho, where the science of sex called Kama Sutra were invented. And the whole romance, whole erotism is still speaking out of these rocks.
Let's go and check out.
How can you do sex like this? What is this? The fuck?
Let's find out.